all different kinds of reasons to stop smoking.
So through hypnotizing and to turn off that urge to smoke, or?
My favorite approach for smoking is to ask the client to refrain from smoking as long as possible on that day. And I schedule toward the end of the day. I ask him to take out a cigarette and smell it and put it in his mouth. And I used to say, light it. But of course, now we can't do that. And then I will teach him about tapping. And he'll see how his craving for that cigarette changes. Before the tapping, oh yeah, I have a sweet spot on my lip. The whole thing is so familiar and comforting. And then you put the cigarette in his mouth after the first round of tapping, and the comment is, you know what, this tastes stale. I must have taken it. I must have used an old package. And I have to remind him, no, you said you wanted it like a level 9 out of 10. And now you're saying it tastes stale. Has the cigarette changed, or has your reaction changed? The tapping has been very, very helpful. The way that I do it, it's a 2-part process. It's here. There's a certain template of language, and then there's a sequence. There's a setup and a sequence. And then I'll follow up with a hypnosis recording to reinforce that their body is no longer interested in smoking, that the craving, the desire to smoke has diminished completely.
So it's like for him to listen to the recordings, like you don't need a cigarette, something like that, or?
Yes, I would state it in a positive way. Your body feels fine without it. You're happy to go about your daily routine without the fuss of a cigarette. Your body doesn't want it or need it. And it can be used, as I said, chocolate. That's a big one for women.
Yeah. So for example, if we want to try the tapping by ourselves, like for one day, how many times I need to do the routine?
You could do it as little or as much as you'd like. There's no set amount. The man who created this, Gary Craig, he would suggest that you tap at the end of the day in bed and just kind of go through your day. And if anything felt sticky or that tightened you up or that was unpleasant to think about, that you would tap on it. So that by the time you were ready for bed, you swept everything away, your mind was calm and quiet, and you could sleep easily. The tapping is actually releasing pathways of thought. And even for pain, you can even tap to reduce pain levels.
With quit smoking, there's a certain point in the ear, and then a point here is called the sweet spot. And also some points related to the lung, and just to let the blockage go away. And I remember there's this Italian gentleman, is almost 80, and he's been smoking throughout his whole life. We just had one session. And then the next day he said he doesn't want to smoke anymore. He was trying to get a cigarette in the morning as usual, and he felt like, it doesn't taste good. Then his son said his dad just quit smoking for at least 6 months after just one treatment.
We talk about it with quitting smoking. And for me, when the subconscious hears quit smoking, it says, I'm not a quitter. I say, okay, you're becoming a non-smoker. You are stopping smoking. Sure. You're not a quitter. So I've eliminated that word from the vocabulary. The subconscious mind is very literal. And so when it hears something, same thing with weight. We talk about losing weight being a good thing and gaining weight as being a bad thing. I say that you are shedding weight, shedding pounds, shedding fat, that you are gaining the body you want and deserve. When the mind hears gaining and losing, it can be confusing on a subconscious level.
Interesting.